Get your hands up and go maul somebody else.
Oh, all right, be like that.
I am being.
Look, Elsie, can't we just have it out? You crept out of bed this morning without a word? Now, I like women who slam doors and slap faces. I don't go for the sulky type.
For your information, I did not creep out of bed this morning, nor did I creep into it last night. I could have been fast asleep in Dennis's room for all you know.
Well, I'm sorry. I was very tired last night.
Yes, so was I. Tired and fed up to here.
Oh, good morning.
Oh, what do you want?
Well, the milkman doesn't seem to have come, and I wondered if you could spare me a cupful of milk. I'll pay it back.
No.
Here, take this.
No, we need it. We can't spare it.
Oh, I understand.
Look, take this. We don't need it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I can manage without for myself. Only Bobby really can't face the day without his saucer of milk.
Right. I'm off to flaming work. No doubt I'll be able to get my breakfast in the canteen.
Aren't you going
and I'm quite sure that somebody in the corner shop will attend to your needs.
Aren't you going to make me a cup of tea?
I would do, darling, but you'd just given the last of the milk to Minnie Corwell's cat.
Right. I'll get Oggy to shift them planks from Gordale Avenue. And we best pick up them radiators if we're ever going to get that central heating job started.
He's a funny fellow, that fella, you know. He wants 2 radiators in his office and only 1 radiator in the typist's office.
Funny. I'd say he got his head screwed on right. I bet he knows what to do when they shiver, eh?
Morning.
Hey, you're a bit late for breakfast, mate. The butler will be in for the pots any minute before moving the Bentley.
Oh, well, I was just wondering if you knew one of those firms that hire out cranes, dumpers and bulldozers and move in very fast and clean your house up, because mine's a bit of a tip.
Well, if you can hang on for about a week or 2, we are working on an attachment for Stanley Ogden's jaws, which at the flick of a switch will turn it into a mechanical shovel. He'll just stand there with his hands in his pockets, shoveling the earth up. We'll hire him out to you.
Oh, right. No, as a matter of fact, I thought I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You see, I haven't got any clean dishes in my place. You must have some here. I have the morning off to prepare a lecture, so I'll cook you a meal.
Well, we was thinking of nipping across to Maxim's for the lunchtime special, but all the seats are booked on the Paris planes.
Well, there you are. Save your fare then. Use me. Discipline your palates to the common market. I will toss you up something French. How about croûte feuilletée or régence au dinde vraiment farcie au jus?
Well, if that's cow heel and pig trotters, you're on, mate. By the way, Alf Roberts is coming and all.
Oh, yeah? Poor cat.
Yeah, well, never mind a poor flaming cat. Let's just have some fish and chips, eh? None of this Apache concertina muck. Bayek, if we have to start eating cats and dogs and snails and frogs, God bless America.
That's very funny, that, you know, because this lecture I've got to prepare is a little bit about America. The rights of man.
Well, that's dead easy, isn't it? Birds.
No, there's more to it than that. Birds and booze. What more rights can a man want?
Social freedom, or as Thomas Paine called it, civil rights. He wrote a book about 200 years ago that should have changed the world.
No, Ken, I don't think we should kowtow to these foreigners. If you're going to cook something British. Like genuine Lancashire hot pot.
When it can be said by any country in the world, my poor are happy, neither ignorance nor distress do they know. My jails are empty of prisoners, the aged do not want, the taxes are not oppressive, the nations of the world are my friend because I am the friend of happiness. Then, when these things can be said, then may that country boast of its constitution, of its government.
Oh, that was very nice.
Oh, Mrs. Corrie, you must have been sent to me this day.
Oh, no. I came on my own accord. You see, I borrowed a bottle of milk this morning from next door, and they weren't very happy. Only Bobby only wanted half, so I'm bringing the other half back. He hasn't touched any of this half, and so I wondered if Mr. Fairclough would return it for me when they come in tonight.
Mrs. Corrie, you wouldn't know how to put up a coq au vin?
Oh, no. I was very good at crochet when I was at school, only I never kept it up.
But, Mrs. Corwell, you do know how to make a Lancashire hot pot, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Morning. Boyfriend?
Nosy, mind your own business.
Does he love you?
Doesn't everybody?
I'll come back when you're down from Cloud 7.
No, don't. It's not important.
No?
I've got this sister, Helen. She lives in Leicester. She spends her life writing to me, asking me to go and see her.
Well, why don't you go and see her? Give her a lift.
You don't know my sister. Domesticity rampant. 24 hours in their little love nest, enough to put anybody off marriage for life.
Don't you go for the domestic scene?
I might, if I found the right man.
You never found him?
All the men I fancy are already spoken for.
Ah, you like them with experience.
Don't you?
Have you got anything to put in the bomb cake? I'm ravenous. I've had no breakfast.
She's turning you out with an empty stomach, is she?
Well, it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. We just seem to get in each other's hair at the moment.
Well, I'll make you up a selection if you like and bring it round.
No, it's all right.
No, it's no trouble, honestly.
Well, all right, if you'd like to. Thank you very much.
Who was that? Oh, just a fella whose wife doesn't understand him.
Here, Kenneth. You see now, we've got the cutlets overlapping, and they're covered with the sliced onions, and then the potatoes go on top. Now, that's how my grandmother used to do it. Now, if you just pour in the gravy...
Right. Whoops. There we are. The melting pot. Made up as it is from different nations, accustomed to different forms and habits of government, speaking different languages, and more different in their forms of worship, it would appear that such a union was impracticable. But, by the simple operation of constructing government on the principles of society and the rights of man, every difficulty retires, and all the parts are brought into cordial unison.
Well, I don't think it says that in the recipe, but I suppose it'll be all right when you've seasoned it. And now, we put it on the stove for 2.5 hours. 2.5?
But it's 10 to 12, Mrs. Corrie. They're going to be here in 15 minutes.
Oh, well, it won't be ready then, will it?
Oh. Wonder what Thomas Paine would have done about that.
You didn't tell her we got the contract for Metro Vix. This is an order Alan placed on his way to work.
Alan Howard?
Yes, seems his nearest and dearest turned him out with an empty stomach this morning.
I see. So you've offered to fill it for him?
Well, he didn't quite know what he wanted, so I said I'd make up a selection and take it round to the garage.
Oh, I see. I wasn't aware that we were in the delivery business.
Well, you don't mind, do you?
Not particularly. Except I am paying you to work behind the counter, not provide meals on wheels for other people's husbands.
Well, regard it as part of my lunch hour.
Janet, can I ask you something?
It's a free country.
When you stepped into the breach last week,
Yeah?
why did you do it? I mean, it's a bit of a come-down, isn't it? A corner shop from the town hall.
Oh, I don't know. I quite like working in a shop myself. I mean, it gives you the chance to meet such interesting people, doesn't it?
Like Alan Howard, perhaps?
Perhaps. Hello, Mrs. Howard.
Hello, love. Could I have a box of matches, please? Ridiculous, isn't it? Cigarette machines all over the canteen, but not a box of matches in sight anywhere.
Oh, I always thought you and Alan had your dinner at home.
We both decided it would be better if he carried on with his work. You see, people keep interrupting him, and then he has to work through his dinner hour. It's a shame, but there it is. If only people would let him alone.
Like me, for one, you mean?
Among others, yes. People always interrupt him.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elsie. All right?
I suppose it couldn't be helped.
Oh, there was nothing in it, you know.
I didn't say there was, did I?
Elsie, all I did was... Well, you can believe me or believe me not, but I'm doing a bit of decorating, and I just popped round to see Alan to see if he could let me have a drop of turpentine, you know, to clean my brushes, and that's the truth.
Now, that's very funny. Alan's idea of the truth is that you came to borrow a pair of pliers.
You know there should be a fella in here in a pair of knickerbockers and a white powdered wig, ready to announce you. Councillor Alfred Roberts! And then they play your national anthem.
Don't give it another thought, lad. It's nice to go somewhere incognito for a change.
Do you know what I reckon's happened? I reckon she's done him in and buried him in the cellar, arsenic and old thingy.
No, there were two of them.
Ina Sharples and Minnie Colwell. Look, they knew Ken was making an hot pot, right? So they slipped in the arsenic and sang a few hymns. It's right up their street. I reckon we should start lifting the flags up myself.
As far as I'm concerned, we're going to Rovers for a pie and a pint. Anyone joining?
The boar's head in hand, bear I, bedecked with bays and rosemary.
Lancashire hot pot?
Oh,
Oh, well, then, I must say, that's very clever, isn't it? Disguising Lancashire hot pot as fish and chips. It took a bit of working out, did that very good, Ken.
They've got enough grease on them and all. Where do you get them? Canal Garage?
Oh, I think it's very unkind of you to make remarks like that. Kenneth even went to the trouble to get a bottle of British sherry to go with them.
Lancashire hot pot?
Ah, yes, the Lancashire hot pot. Well, I'll tell you about that.
No, the room might be bugged. There might be a foreign power listening. If I were you, I shouldn't say a word about Lancashire hot pot.
Well, the ingredients are right, Miss Corrie.
Oh, yes.
And the pan was the right size, Miss Corrie?
Oh, yes, I scoured it myself.
Round, wasn't it? Pi r squared. And we said all the right spells and incantations.
Oh, yes, he said a lot of things when he was watching it.
But time was against me. It was going to take 3 hours to cook the hot pot. So I went out and I got good old English fish and chips and a bottle of good old English sherry as a good old English next best thing.
Well, I trust you got the Banapro. You can get your money back.
Hey, tell the chippy they made a mistake. You asked for fish and chips.
Yes, thanks all the same, lad, but I think I'll leave a bit of room in my larder for Maggie Clegg's cooking tonight.
Mr. Colwell, you wouldn't like to ask your Bobby if he'd like to invite some of his little friends round for a nosh-up, a sort of battered cod rave-up, would you?
Well, he hasn't got many friends.
No, but he soon will have when you distribute these fish and chips around your backyard. Say it's a big day for cats or something.
Oh, yes. And then you can have the hot pot tonight.
Exactly, that's right, fellas. How about that? What a treat. You can have the hot pot for tea and it'll be all the better for waiting for it.
Well, same as I said, I shall have my feet under Maggie Clegg's table tonight.
Yes, right. Well, I better go. I've got this lecture, you know, and I'll have a snack at college, so I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
It's like that then, is it? With Maggie Clegg? Are you jealous, lads?
Jealous, me? Listen, Alf, I'll give you a piece of advice, mate. When she pulls the blinds down and kicks off her shoes and puts her slippers on and switches the ceiling light out and puts on the record of the Laughing Policeman, start running.
Aren't you going home for your dinner?
Home for dinner? No point. Me dad's on the dying side at ICI, my mum serves behind the bar at the railway, and my sister's on the toffee counter at Woolworths. Who'll be at home? No, I'll stay here.
You brought sandwiches?
No, I'll nip over to Caff across the road, play a few Dean Martins, have a few pies.
Fine, yeah. Have the music on me.
Oh,
See you.
sir.
Hello, Colin.
Oh, hello.
Well, well, fancy meeting you here.
Hey, I say, I've heard of meals on wheels, but pies on thighs.
Go on, help yourself.
Hey? Oh, hi, Char.
You can settle the account later. You took him on then?
Yes, I took him on. Well, Colin, don't you want a thumbs with the Guardian or bone up on some trade magazines or something like that?
Oh, no thanks, boss. Have you no comics?
No, I gave my last comments to Len Fair Club for marbles. Colin, it's your dinner hour. Come and sit down, love. Put your feet up and relax and think nice thoughts. Try not to interrupt me, because I shall be busy in the office sorting out Janet's account, all right? Oh, yes. Where did you hear that?
You were whistling it. It's catchy. Can't get it out of my head.
And I pressed her heaving breasts to mine while dancing round the floor.
You've a wife. Had you forgotten?
No, I hadn't, but I sometimes think you do.
How do you mean?
Why do you suppose I phoned you last night?
Yes, you took a risk, didn't you? You might have been seen or overheard. I like men that take risks. It reassures me about them. Why did you phone me?
Well, I wanted to tell you that...
Yes?
Was there any mustard?
Yes, here.
Oh, Tar. What I call service, this.
Look, Colin, in that rubbish outside in the corridor, you'll find some of my old rally club badges. If you want to clean them up, you can have them.
You mean it? It'd be all right on my motorbike.
Come on, I'll help you to find them.
Thanks for putting a word in for me, you know, about the job.
Not at all.
Do you go dancing?
I have been known to.
Well, perhaps.
Yes?
Well, I'm not bad, you know.
And have you time to repair cars as well?
That's Colin, the new apprentice, who's just having a bit of fun. It's his dinner hour.
Yes, it's a real fun place, is this, like the Hall of Mirrors. Now I'm fat, now I'm thin.
Elsie, I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to know which is the real Alan Howard and which is the real Maggie Clegg. You said that she came for plies. She said she came for turps. And what's she doing here? Now, what's she doing? Is she just come to have her batteries topped up, or did she come for a routine service?
Oh, come on, Elsie, you have hijinks over of the warehouse whenever you feel like, and don't tell me you don't.
Oh, yes, but not as much as here, like I said. A Hall of Mirrors. Look now, you've gone all fat and ugly.
Elsie!
I
thought they were going to tear each other's eyes out and they were spitting at each other.
Oh, it must have been very frightening.
Well, I told them I'd pour a bucket of cold water over them, only it was Kenneth Barlow's fault.
How was that then?
Well, he got this fish and chips, and then everybody wanted hot pot, so they suggested that Bobby asked his friends round for a party.
Oh, I see.
Only cats don't seem to like cats.
I see. And which one of our little community are we tearing to pieces now?
Well, cats, Elsie.
Oh, has Janet returned from a good deed yet? Or is it your turn to go out on a mission of mercy? After all, you never know, my husband might need some cigarettes.
I thought they were going to tear each other's hair out.
Stick around and you won't be disappointed.
Well, I know somebody will be disappointed, very disappointed.
Oh, do tell me who.
Well, Kenneth Barlow. I suppose you haven't by any chance got the keys to Mr. Fairclough's house?
No, I wish I had.
Oh, what a pity, because Kenneth Barlow's forgotten to do something very important.
Elsie, do you really think I'm chasing your husband?
I don't know. I don't know whether you are or not, but I'll tell you one thing. This is my third marriage and I'm hanging on.
Well, you needn't fret about me, Elsie. If I want a fella, I can get one. I'm not that stuck I've got to chase somebody else's.
Hello, love. Right through, is it?
Yeah, you know where everything is.
I ought to do. Ooh, doesn't that smell grand?
Haven't got to chase somebody else's, eh? May I remind you that Councillor Alf Roberts is a married man?
Shall I make a start on them punctures? I think one's a valve.
No, leave it tomorrow.
Well, I can get them done by 6.
Look, let's call it a day for the day. From tomorrow on, we finish at 6 o'clock.
Suits me.
Oh, Colin.
Yes, Mr. Howard?
If I was not to be here for a couple of days, would you be able to look after the place on your own?
Hey, you're not feeling well.
No, I just might not be here for a couple of days. Well, I wouldn't expect you to do the big jobs, but there are plenty of small jobs you could do, and you can look after the place and answer the phone, explain why I'm not here. Could you do that?
Hey, thinking of skipping the country with the boss's money? I'll come with you. Help carry the bags.
What do you say?
Well, I wouldn't mind looking after this place for a few days, especially if brings cakes round every dinner time.
Hello.
Hello, Len.
Still around, eh?
That's right.
Listen, Fairclough, get your cow eyes out with that woman and let's get down to business. I expect you're wondering why we're here.
Not particularly, but feel free to tell me about it if you like.
Yes, well, we're the local mountain rescue unit and we've come to see if Alf Roberts is in danger.
Oh, yes. Well, he hasn't clapped his hands for the dancing girls yet, if that's what you were.
Is that steak and kidney pie I can smell there, love?
Well, you're very welcome. There's plenty of it. Only, of course, you'll have to sing for your supper like Mr. Roberts.
Now listen to her, the Lorelei.
What the flipping next to that?
On a rock in the Rhine. Luring the sailors to their doom with the smell of steak and kidney. Pie, of course. Well, come on, lads. We've got a much better smell waiting for us, haven't we? Lancashire hot pot.
We forgot about the hot pot.
We forgot the hot pot. Ta-da!
That's 3 that got away. Oh, I've still got 1 in the jar. What happened to yours? Something frightening.
Yes, of course I'm at home. Where do you think I was? Out with the fella? It doesn't serve you right and all, wouldn't it? Oh, come on, Al. Don't give me that all that tale before. Look! She said that she came for turps and you said for pliers. Now, I may not be a mechanic, but I know the difference between turps and pliers, don't I? Oh, I? Oh, what was the other one doing there at dinner time? You know who I mean. Janet Flaming Reed. Yes, well, is this how you run Billy Walker's business? It's only recent, this, isn't it? It was never that flaming nonsense when he was there. Yes, flaming nonsense. You know what I mean by flaming nonsense. Well, what are you trying to do? Make me the laughingstock of the corner shop? Oh, well, why don't you try the Rover's Return? Bet Lynch, that's one place you haven't tried. Still, there's plenty of time, isn't there? No, I don't know what there is for tea. Why don't you have some barm cakes delivered from the corner shop?
Hey, there'll be a right ding-dong in there tonight. Do you hear the way she slammed the phone down then?
I couldn't hear a thing, mate. I was too busy sniffing.
Well, I can smell last night's backer.
I can smell your old boots.
Yeah, well, I can smell them socks you chucked off in the bedroom.
They were not my socks, mate. They were your socks. There's a more earthy odour about them.
Oh. I'll tell you what I can't smell, though. Can you tell us what it is we can't smell?
I don't think you can smell hot pot.
He's dead right, the teacher's dead right, you're not
He's
wrong.
got a nose like a bloodhound, that fella, and brains to match.
Aye.
Oh, I'm glad you're in. Well, I'm not really glad you're in. I wish you'd been in earlier and then I'd have been glad. Only there's something very important you've forgotten to do.
Oh, and what was that, Mr. Corrie?
You forgot to light the gas on the stove.
And it's the last time I used Thomas Paine's cookery book.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you two, but I know what I'm going to do.
Oh, so.
I just popped in to say I was popping out.
Oh, yes, you've got something on, have you?
Not really, it's just that I can't stand the smell of paint, that's all. Still, I don't suppose you'll miss me. You know what they say, two's company. I'll go. Oh. Or should I say fine? Hello?
Here we are, then. Glad to see you, lads.
Yeah.
Get stuck in.
Oh, Al, be fair. Perhaps they'd rather have a steak and kidney before they start.
Hello, Alan.
Well, I expected to get a vase thrown at me head.
Did blow up a bit on the phone, didn't I?
Does that mean you cook some tea for us?
No.
It's bomb cakes again, is it?
No, I thought we might go out for a meal for a change. On me, of course.
Why on you?
Well, on you, if you like. I just thought it'd make a change, that's all. No?
No, Elsie. Look, I just want something to eat with the evening paper and a couple of hours in front of the television, setting the shoes off, and a couple of beers before I go to bed.
I'll get you something.
Look, Elsie, you say you blew off steam on the telephone, but I'm afraid I'm not like that. I bottle things up. I'm sorry, it's a fault. Perhaps I'd be better if I threw the furniture around, but well, that's the way I am.
Forget it. It was just that... Well, she said turps and you said pliers, and I just wondered, that's all. It was nothing.
You're right, it was nothing. Did I hit the ceiling when you went off to dinner with that Maxwell fellow from the warehouse? Did I say anything? I brought him back here for a drink. Look, Elsie, we can't go through our lives, you never looking at another man and me never looking at another woman, in case we're to jump into bed together.
All right, I was jealous. Now, you said how you are, and I've said how I am. No, let's just forget about it and have some tea.
No, I'm not hungry.
Oh, for God's sake, don't sulk.
Look, I'm not sulking. I just want a moment to myself to work things out.
Well, why don't you buy yourself a raft and sail around the world? There's thousands doing it.
Well, that might not be necessary, because I have to go to Leeds for a couple of days.
A couple of days?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
A couple of things I have to do, a couple of people I have to see.
What people?
People! Business people! People I haven't seen for a long time!
What you mean is you want a night away from me.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
Yes, you are.
Oh, dear, and I had a feeling I was interrupting this morning.
You were.
Well, I just want to return this bottle of milk, and thank you very much.
Thanks very much, but we don't need it.
We do need it.
No, we don't. Good night, Mrs. Colwell.
But,
Good night, Mrs. Colwell.
And what are we going to do for a cup of tea?
Well, you can always slip round to the corner shop and get one, but then, of course, you're going to Leeds, aren't you?
Oh, well, see, I'm only going to Leeds for a couple of days.
Alan, as far as I'm concerned, you can go for a couple of years. You can go forever. And I won't need a bottle of milk because I'm not going to sit here supping tea while you're away. Go on. Go to Leeds and good luck to you.
After all the sex and intrigue, it's time to cool off with some festive cheer. Christmas on the Street is next, and it's talent show time at the Rovers.